Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Japan Professional Baseball. It is Nippon Professional Baseball at its finest. We are going to be bringing you the fourth place Yokohama DeNA BayStars taking on the fifth place Chunichi Dragons. It is the second game of the 3-game set between these two ball clubs. As our friend Harrison and Living Room Sports are in the house, we want to welcome everybody into the stream tonight. We are going to give you the starting lineups, first of all, for the visitors from Yokohama, as it is the BayStars here who will be the visitors tonight as they're taking on the Dragons. Leading off and playing in center field is number 58, Takaki Kajiwara. Hitting second and in right field is number 4, Ryuki Watari. Hitting third at first base is number 7, Kaita Sano. The cleanup spot and playing second base is number 2, Shugo Maki. Hitting in the 5 spot and playing third base today is Toshiro Miyazaki. Batting in the 6th spot, doing the catching is number 50, Yudai Yamamoto. Hitting 7th and in left field is number 25, Yoshi Tsugo. Batting 8th at shortstop is number 00, Takuma Hayashi. And batting 9th and doing the pitching is the American Anthony Kay. And they're going to be facing Hiroto Takahashi, making his 4th start of the year. He's 0-2. He's worked 17 innings. He's allowed 20 hits, 11 runs, 10 of which have been earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 14, and he's got a 5.29 earned run average. Well, that is your lineup for the BayStars. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Chunichi Dragons. Leading off in center field wearing number 1 is Yuki Okibayashi. Hitting second, playing second base is number 60, Yasuhiro Yamamoto. Hitting third and left field is number 42, Kenta Bright. And the cleanup spot in right field is number 55, Seiya Hosokawa. Batting in the 5 spot and playing third base is number 4, Orlando Calixte. Batting in the 6th spot and playing first base is number 6, Sho Nakata. Batting 7th at shortstop is number 5, Kaito Muramatsu. Hitting 8th and doing the catching is number 49, Kato Takumi. Batting 9th, the pitcher, number 19, Hiroto Takahashi. And they are going to be facing Anthony Kay, who has been brilliant to start the year. He's pitched in 14 innings, yet to allow a run. He has allowed 6 hits. He's walked 1 and struck out 17. And I got to say this, after watching the Chicago Cubs play today, I bet they wish they had Anthony Kay in their lineup. Anthony Kay has had a 0 ERA, and so he is getting the start tonight. We'll see how that fares here. It is going to be Dragons in their dark home uniforms as they are going to be playing the BayStars here in this one. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Stay tuned, everybody. Appreciate you guys for listening in tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. The starter, Hiroto Takahashi, is just completing his tune-up tosses as we are about ready to get this one underway, as it is the BayStars who will come to bat first in this one at the Vantolin Dome. We are glad that we could be bringing this one with you here this evening. Or the afternoon, depending upon your air. It's Koki Kajiwara who will lead it off here, as he will be facing Takahashi. So Koki Kajiwara ready to face the right-hander as we are ready to go. And the first pitch is on its way. It is a fastball that is swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. It is 2:01 local time, 10:01 if you're on the west coast of Canada and the USA, and it is 1:01 Eastern if you're there as well. Our friend Harrison said it is in the morning in New York. We welcome Harrison there as well. There's a fastball swung on his chop slowly over to short, fielding it on the run and throwing to first. Nice play there by the shortstop, Kaito Muramatsu. And he is going to retire Kajiwara for the first out here in the inning. Ground out 6-3 for out number 1. And that'll bring up the right fielder in Ryuki Watari. Well, for Watari, batting .286 on the season, no homers and 2 RBIs. We had a pretty big turnout for our game today. We did the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder. That's Okabayashi. He's going to be there to make the catch. And that is going to retire Watari for the second out of the inning. So 2 quick outs here, and that's going to leave it up to the first baseman, Kaita Sano. We called that Cub Diamondback game afternoon baseball. The number of people that we had in our stream was astronomical. I think we had over 1,400 come through. We had 66 listening at one time. Our friend Harrison, yeah, we saw you pop in there. It was kind of busy through the chat. It was a pitcher's duel through 7, 2-1 ball game. It ended up 13-11 in favor of the Chicago Cubs. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. Yeah, that is 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, it's the best game you'd watched besides that Baystar Carp craziness a couple of weekends ago. Hopefully we don't have that tonight. That is, our fingers are crossed. 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on it, is popped up behind home plate, giving chase. But watching it sail into the seats is the catcher, Takumi, and that is going to even the count at 1-1 to Sano. So Hiroto Takahashi, who just goes by Hiroto on the back of his jersey. That's what we always say. When you're that good, you can just go with your first name. Defensively tonight for the Dragons, from left to right field, Bright is in left, Okabayashi in center, the right fielder Hosokawa. Around the horn from first to third, Nakata is at first, Yamamoto at second, the shortstop is Muramatsu. At third base, it is Calixte, as that pitch was swung on and missed by Sano, and the count is 1-2. And the battery is Takahashi and Takumi. Our friend Harrison said he was watching the game while playing Marvel Rivals. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded in the shallow outfield space by the second baseman Yamamoto. He throws to first. That's going to retire Sano on a ground out 4-3. So the BayStars go in order and quietly here in inning number 1. There was no runs, no hits, no errors. There was nobody left the board. Your score as we are through a half inning, it is the BayStars nothing and the Dragons coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back right after this, and appreciate you for hanging in here with us tonight. That includes you too, Harrison. We got a 0-0 ball game. We'll be back in just a moment with all the action. Stay tuned, everybody. It is BayStars and Dragons on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. Anthony K has completed his warm-up tosses, and we're ready to get this one back underway. It'll be Yuki Okabayashi, Yasuhiro Yamamoto, and Kenta Bright to come to bat for the Dragons here. And they're bottom of the first inning. Dragons are wearing these, I don't want to call them royal blue. They're darker than that, but it's not really navy blue tops. They've got the white pants, as it is blue versus blue tonight. First pitch fastball swung on. It's lined into right field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. So Yuki Okabayashi, on the first pitch that he sees, hammers a single to right field. And there goes Anthony K's no-hitter on the first pitch of the ball game. So Okabayashi is aboard. That's going to bring Yasuhiro Yamamoto to the plate. Our friend Harrison says, have you considered doing KBO games? Yeah, for about 5 seconds. Not interested. KBO is... We watched a little bit of that. I'll go watch it live when I'm in Korea next time, but just don't really have any interest in doing anything here. Squaring to bunt already is Yamamoto as they throw over to first base, and getting back easily is Okabayashi. I just find the quality of the baseball is a step down from what we witness in the NPB, and it has nothing really to do with the Koreans. I just think that some of the teams are just very diverse. You've got some major league talent, then you got some maybe low, high A talent type there. And then there's a bunt down the first baseline that rolls foul from Yamamoto. And then it's like on the lower teams, it's almost like you got some high school caliber players on the field. Just a lot of discrepancy in the game. The quality is up and down. Watched some of it on ESPN a few years ago, when we had the blip. And so there are a couple teams that are no doubt that are pretty good teams, but it's really a 2-3 team league in a lot of ways, where I think there's 10 league teams in the league. Really only 3 that are worth talking about. There's a pitch. It's bunted. It is fielded by K. He's going to make the throw to first, and that is going to retire Yamamoto. It's going to go as a sacrifice, 1-4 on the putout. Yamamoto is gone. It's going to advance Okabayashi into scoring position. And that is going to bring up the left fielder in Kenta Bright. Well, for Bright, he's hitting .308 to begin the year. He's got a homer and 3 runs batted in. As he steps in here, ready to face Anthony K. Okabayashi is the runner at second. We welcome, as I say, everybody here. Harrison says he might go to Tokyo for 2 weeks. Be a good decision. As the pitch is on the way, it is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-0 on Bright. First time I went to Japan, I spent time in Tokyo by itself. There's just so much to see. I think I was there for about 2 weeks. And much like London, England, or Paris, France, or any of the large cities in the world, you can do something every day, go somewhere different every day. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. That pitch came in at 96 miles an hour, and the count is 1-1 to Bright. You can go pretty much anywhere you'd like and see something different. And I stayed in Tokyo a few times. Certainly that is the bet of that as well. Harrison said, go to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Japan. Yeah, the Baseball Hall of Fame in Japan is not a huge venue. It's at the Tokyo Dome. Fastball swung on it, breaks the bat of Bright. It softly rolled over to short. As it got by the pitcher, he's going to reach it safely. The bat absolutely blew up. He only had the stem in his hands. And that is going to be a single here for Bright. That's going to put runners at the corners with 1 gone. That's going to bring Seiya Hosokawa to the plate. The bat actually went further than the ball. Got sawed right off. So Anthony K had to avoid the bat. He might have been able to make the play on that had he not had to dodge the barrel of the bat flying at him. So the runner Bright is at first. Okabayashi is at third. 1 gone here in the first, and it's going to bring Seiya Hosokawa to the plate. Hosokawa hitting a .174 on the year, homer and 4 RBIs. Off to a bit of a slow start. Going to the Tokyo Dome is a must, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure I think it's the greatest venue for ball. There's a fastball swung on. It's lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Hosokawa is going to get himself an RBI as Okabayashi will come in to score. Stopping at second is Bright on the RBI single off the bat of Hosokawa. And that is going to bring up the third baseman in Orlando Calixte. So the Dragons draw first blood here in the first inning. I have to say, one place I haven't been to is the Nagoya Dome. And, when you've been to one dome, it's like you've been to many. Although I have to say the dome in Saitama a little bit different because the stadium was built around 50 years ago. But the dome was not attached until the mid-late 90s. There's a 2-year phase. So Calixte steps in. He is batting 179 on the season. He's got a homer and 4 runs batted in. The left-hander K checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It's going to be lifted foul down the right field line. That's one thing I also noticed, too, with the Major League Baseball games. They're so fixed on the center field camera of the pitcher-catcher. When you're used to doing the games in the Japanese league, the cameras are all over the place. They get the view of the ball where it's hit foul. I have to say, the game at Wrigley Field today that we were watching, a little disappointing in the camera work. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. The production quite poor. Fastball misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. One thing I was happy about in years past on the games that the Cubs would play, they always want to cut out. They would want to go and show different things, and they sometimes will have the camera on people in the stands or anything but the game. As the 1-1 pitch ready to come here from the lefty K. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1 on Calixte. Shonakata waiting his turn on deck. There is one gone here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Runner at first and second. Bright the runner at second. Hosokawa at first. 1 run on the board here for the Dragons. But back to the thoughts on the Vantolin Dome. There's a lot of people there. It'd be interesting to see the Dragons play as well. Be curious to see how that dome differs than the one in Osaka and the one in Tokyo. As that fastball misses upstairs, it's now 3-1 to Calixte. So Anthony K's scoreless streak ended at 14 1/3 innings. As Okabayashi has come across to put the first run on the board. Now he has an ERA. Harrison said, how far is Yokohama from Tokyo? It's really close. I stay a lot on the east or the northeast side of Tokyo. You're looking at about an hour on the train. Fastball swung on, lined into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding third and heading home is Bright. As the ball comes back into the infield, it gets away, and that's a single for Calixte. Stopping at second is Hosokawa. Another run has come across the board as Kenta Bright comes in to score, and it's now a 2-0 lead here for the Dragons in the first inning. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Shonakata. So they brought the lumber with them tonight, have the Dragons. Fred Rubin's in the house today. How you doing, big fella? Great for you to join us as well. So Yokohama is all really close. Same with Chiba. It's just, it's all, I guess, burbs in some ways. Yokohama, depending on where you stay, if you're staying in the Southwest, it might only take you half an hour to get there. Probably takes you longer to get to the other side of Tokyo. Here's the first offering, and it's a fastball swung on his line to the third baseman, Miyazaki. He makes a great catch. That ball was hit right on the screws. And it is Nakata who has gone for the second out of the inning. They almost had the double play. Good piece of base running there by Hosokawa to freeze on the line drive. He didn't even take hardly a step out of the box. And Nakata is going to make his way back to the dugout. That is going to bring up the shortstop in Kaito Muramatsu. Well, for Muramatsu, he is the 7th batter to come to bat here in the inning. And ironically, for 7 batters to come to bat, they've only seen 13 pitches from Anthony K. As the lefty holds and delivers, there's a fastball that swung on it, is popped up down the line in left field. Moving over in foul territory with room to make the catch as the left fielder Setsugo, and that is going to do it as Matsubara is going to be gone. So only 14 pitches for Anthony Kay. He's going to be gone for the third out of the inning is Muramatsu, and that will do it here for the Dragons. They got 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Sales windshield repair in here. He says, where can I watch Oryx live? Well, we'll come back in just a couple moments and maybe give you some information. So hang tight, everybody. It is a 2-0 lead. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us here on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the heart of the batting order coming up for the BayStars. That means Shugo Maki, Toshiro Miyazaki, and Yudai Yamamoto, as they will begin the inning here against the right-hander Hiroto Takahashi. Our friend Davey says, who's pitching for the BayStars? It's Anthony Kay, the former Met, Blue Jay, and Cub, as the first pitch fastball misses inside to Maki, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Sales windshield repair says, where can I watch the Oryx Buffaloes live? Well, first of all, if you have a VPN, you can make the purchase and get the Pacific League. As that fastball misses inside, the count goes to 2-0. Sometimes Amazon Prime will carry games. Amazon Prime Japan. That's a spot where you can catch the Buffaloes. As well as Yahoo Japan. Also, again, you have to have the VPN to be able to get some of the highlights over there. As the 2-0 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung, and this ball's belted into deep left field, drifting back onto the edge of the warning track, but with room to make the catch. As the left fielder, Kenta Bright, and Shugo Maki is going to be retired for the first out of the inning. So generally speaking, those are kind of the ways that you could do it. I don't know if, I know DAZN used to carry in the United States. I'm not sure if DAZN in Japan is carrying the NPB stuff, or even if DAZN is carrying it in the USA. There used to be Friends to Friends. I'm not overly familiar with that. A lot of people were. There were a couple of people that were in the stream last year who used to talk about the betting houses that would carry the games as well. I can't remember if it was Betway or Bet365, but you had to be a member. As the pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Miyazaki. Right-hander working himself into the set. The pitches from the stretch despite nobody being on. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count runs even to 1-1. Miyazaki hitting .283 on the season. No homers and 4 RBIs. Waiting here on the offering from the right-hander Takahashi. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, popped up on the infield. It's over on the, just in front of home plate, moving over underneath it and making the catch is going to be Kano Takumi, and that is going to retire Miyazaki for the second out of the inning. So 5 up and 5 retired here for the BayStars, and that's going to bring up the catcher in Yudai Yamamoto. So for Yamamoto, he's hitting .216 on the season, no homers and 10 RBIs. First pitch fastball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Yamamoto. Our friend Harrison asked, same questions you asked the other night, Harrison. Which are the good stadiums to go to? I think we covered that before. Jingu Stadium is the one with the most, in my opinion, the most culture. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Got to go to the Jingu Stadium if you can. And then probably Yokohama is a nice, beautiful stadium to see a game at. The stadium in Chiba is a bit multi-purpose as it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice venue, but there's a fastball inside that is nailed Yamamoto. You're a little slow to get out of the way. I think he might have taken that one in the ribs. Takahashi coming off the mound to apologize. We're going to have to look here. That one is going to smart. A fastball right in the ribs. We'll see if Yamamoto is going to be able to shake this one off. Trainer comes out. Interesting. Look, we're going to go look at this one again here. He was too slow to get out of the way. Well, he might have, but he didn't get his elbow down to get it blocked. He might have got it off the hip. Actually, looks like it got the elbow and then the hip. So a double whammy. But he is going to be aboard on a hit by pitch. That's going to be the first base runner today for the Yokohama DeNA BayStars. That is going to bring up the left fielder in Yoshi Satsugo. So for Satsugo, he is hitting .154 on the year. He's got a homer and 1 RBI, the former big leaguer with a number of teams. And here comes the offering from the right-hander who holds himself to the set. Now he kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on it. It has popped up into shallow center field. Coming in on it with plenty of room to make the catch is Okabayashi. And that is going to do it, as that's going to end the inning here for the BayStars. Well, they finally got a runner aboard, but not able to capitalize. There was no runs in the inning, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left. Your score as we move to the bottom of the second inning, it is the Dragons to the BayStars, no score. Risk taker Jay Will in the house as well. We're glad you can make it in here today. He says, BayStars money line, am I cooked? It's too early, man. Just like the game earlier today between the Cubs and the Diamondbacks, you never know once we get to the bullpens. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat for the Dragons here in inning number 2. That means Kato Takumi, Hiroto Takahashi in the top of the order in Yuki Okabayashi. You face the left-hander Anthony Kay. Just as a note, when people are in the stream watching and listening, as the first pitch is a fastball taken for a call and strike, Takumi had squared the bunt, but had pulled it back, took the strike on the inside corner. The home team always bats last. BayStars at the Dragons. So in the bottom of the second inning, it tells you that the Dragons would be batting, as there's a Breaking ball taken for a strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. Takumi 1 for 6 on the season, getting the start behind the plate tonight. Nothing on the slash line. There's a breaking ball swung on its chop slowly up the middle. Fielded on the backhand by Mackey. The throw to first is not going to be in time. And that is going to be an infield single here for Takumi. I don't think they're going to challenge it, and I wouldn't waste the time on the challenge either. Mackey had to go deep up the middle and throw off his back foot. Our friend Davey says College Tech's game got rained out, and they will start at the 7th with the bases loaded tomorrow. A suspended game. Interesting. Well, that brings the pitcher Hiroto Takahashi to the plate, and our friend Tyler in the house. He says, busy day today. Yeah. Doing 2 games here, so classic stuff. Takahashi looks like he's already squaring to bunt. He is 2 for 6 this year at the plate. And he bunts. It gets down in front of the plate. Looks like we might have an interference call here, and we may have ourselves a double play. The home plate umpire had jumped out immediately as Takahashi had dropped the bunt down. We're going to have to see if he's ruled them both out or if they're sending the runner back to first or if he's ruled a foul ball. Maybe it's a foul ball in this situation. Let's see what happened here. Looks like it is a foul ball. So no balls and 1 strike. I wish they would have gone back and given us the replay. Tyler says, missed your call for the Cubs game, but it was an insane game. That was one of the craziest games. I thought the game between the Carp and the BayStars a couple of weeks ago was nuts. That game was a whole other level of craziness. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and Takahashi bunts it down the first base line, but it's going to go foul. Count now goes to 0-2. Had to be one of the largest streams we've ever had. We had over 1,400 people come through it. We had 66 sitting in at one time, which was pretty cool. That definitely kept us busy. And the best thing about it is the chat wasn't crazy. Sometimes it'll go spinning around when you're in chats and you're watching stuff. And that one there, the people that were there were asking her questions. It was really, really cool. Tyler said he left right before the 8th inning too. That was when all the excitement started to come. Bottom of the 7th inning was the craziness. That's when the Cubs shoved 5 on the board, go up 7-1, and you thought, oh, this game's over. I was just getting going. There's a fastball that just misses outside. Anthony Kay looked like he might have got squeezed there. It's now 1-2 to Takahashi. Eric in the house, he says, thanks for doing this. This helps me as an American watch this in a way, and go BayStars. Well, if you can ever find yourself a feed there, Eric, what a lot of people do is they sync our call up to the feed and enjoy it as it is. But we appreciate you for being here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. As Kay kicks and fires, he bunts it. It's a good one. Back to the pitcher. He looks to go to second, but instead he's going to throw to first. That's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to go into the books as a 1-4 putout. Advancing over to second is Takumi, and it's going to bring the top of the order in Okabayashi to the plate. Tyler says, wow, big numbers. It was incredible. We've actually done, of our last 3 games, we've had absolutely massive numbers. We did the Reds and the Mariners the day before. We had about, 800 people come through the stream. But the game with the Padres and the Cubs earlier in the week, we had about 1,300 there as well. It was pretty amazing. So Okabayashi coming to the plate here. He's batting from the left side against the left-hander K. He was singled and scored a run in the first. Takes a breaking ball on the inside corner. The count quickly is 0-1. One thing I noticed last year when I was in Chiba to see the game, when I was in Chiba, the thing that's interesting there is I had the game on my phone going, and there was a good solid 15 to 20 second delay. There's a fastball swung on. It breaks another bat. Fielded by the first baseman, Sano. He's going to win the race to the bag. That's going to retire Okabayashi. That's the second broken bat that we are aware of tonight. And it broke very similar to the way that Kenta Brights did. The barrel almost went further than the ball. So 2 gone. Tyler says, got to do more MLB games. We did a few, not last year, but we did a couple of years ago. We did probably about 40 to 45 games. My problem is I just don't have enough time in the evenings to do it. We have to do the daytime games on the Pacific Coast, or the morning games, because it interrupts the work that I do. There was a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count's 0-1, which is why we do the Japanese stuff, because most of what I'm done by 9 o'clock at night, and we're in front of the computer and we could call the game while we're watching it. And the goal this year is 150 MLB games combined with NPB plus the classic qualifiers that we did, as there's a breaking ball that misses down. Count goes even to 1-1. And that is, if we could do that, that's pretty good. Tyler says, got to watch the Mudhens today. Indians got a walk-off in the 11th. I haven't been keeping the track on the AAA team. I was at the Emeralds Canadians game the other night. There's the 1-1 pitch in the Northwest League. Fastball misses up and into Yamamoto. Count is now 2-1. It was a really well-played game. I understand last night the Emeralds and the Canadians had an hour-long 5th inning. I don't follow the minor leagues as much. I'm just interested in a couple of players that are making their way through, or considered top prospects. No, the Giants had nobody. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 2-2. Eugene Emeralds are the San Francisco Giants' top team. Vancouver Canadians are the Toronto Blue Jays. I say top team, the A-ball team, high A team. Blue Jays had 3 top prospects, top 30 prospects in their lineup. The one with probably the greatest opportunity was Arjun Namala, who was their first-round pick a couple of years ago. Big shortstop, rangy. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. As Kay delivers a slow breaking ball, it's taken for a called third strike. Oh, Yamamoto, he stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3, and that is going to do it. Anthony Kay able to get himself out of the jam. There was no runs in the inning. There was 1 hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are now through 2 complete. Your score is the Dragons 2 and the BayStars no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Rounds Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat. Here is going to be Hayashi, Kay, and the top of the order in Kajiwara to face the right-hander, Hirono Takahashi, who is coming on for his 3rd inning work. He has retired 6 of the 7 batters he faced. The only batter to reach base was Yamamoto after being hit by a pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on. It is lined into right field for a base hit. This could be extra bases as it gets all the way to the wall. Picking it up and firing in is the right fielder Hosokawa. And cruising into second base with a stand-up double is Hayashi. And he is aboard here. That's going to bring up Anthony Kay to come to bat here. Our friend Risk Taker Jay Will said he watched the Diamondback Cub highlights. It's got to be one of the craziest games. That's what we were saying earlier. It was absolutely insanity watching that ball game. Lots of fun. I mean, hey, listen, I'm not a big, I'd rather see a good pitcher's duel or a game that goes like 3-2 or 5-3 or 4-3, something like that, where you get a little offense, a little bit of base running, a little defense, a little pitching. But every once in a while, you got like a good slugfest. First pitch fastball delivered to Anthony Kay's, a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. He was squaring to bunt, but he had to pull that back. Tyler asks if we like Akil Baddoo. He said he started the game off with a leadoff tank. No, I'm not a big fan of Baddoo. He had a lot of opportunities in Detroit. Yes, he is truly a AAA player. There's a ball bunted down the third baseline. It's a good one. Fielded neatly by the third baseman, Calixte, who throws to first. Anthony Kay does his job. He's going to get a sacrifice. It's going to go in the books. 5-4 on the putout. Kay has gone for the first out of the inning. Advancing over to third is Hayashi. That's going to bring Koki Kajiwara up to the plate. So to answer your question about Baddoo, no, I also don't like his arm. I like the fact that he can run, and he seems like a good team guy. Probably somebody you want in your locker room. He spent probably about a year and change on the Tigers roster. I saw him play at the big league level, but he hasn't been able to adjust to he had a nice run for a short period of time. Breaking ball misses outside, but the league caught up to him, and he was never really able to adjust back. He's what I'd call a 4A player. He's too good for AAA, but not good enough for the big leagues. But he got there and had a pretty good run, and probably, as I said, because he's a good team guy, he'll stick around for a little bit longer in the minor leagues, but I don't think he's going to be able to crack that Tiger lineup. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. As the right-hander delivers, it's a fastball swung on, and it's missed, and it goes all the way to the backstop, and that is going to get a run in. So a wild pitch. That's going to cut the lead to 2-1. Hayashi comes in to score. So no RBI on that one. Swung and a miss. The catcher went right off his glove. So that's going to be actually a pass ball. I got to change that one up. It went right off the glove of the catcher. That's inexcusable. Goes all the way to the backstop. The count is going to be 1-1. And the BayStars are on the board. That's not the way that I would have drawn that one up. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kajiwara. 1 gone here and a run on the board for the BayStars. So the right-hander works himself to the set. Now he kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on and it is lifted foul down the left field line. Count is 1-2. Our friend Tyler says he's a Dodger fan, but Pirates by association. That's because the Pirates AAA team is playing in his neighborhood. Yeah, whenever that happens, it's like, for example, I watch the Blue Jays more frequently, or I catch the Mariners because of where I live. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted foul into the seats. The count remains a 1-2. And so when you have those type of teams that you're watching, you get to follow the players and you get to see them, especially as they make their way up towards the top level of the sport. But certainly, in watching that, you become more familiar, but still a Tiger fan. As there's a fastball swung on it, is grounded up the middle, fielded on the backhand by the second baseman, ranging to his right, Yamamoto, but he's not going to be able to make the play. That's going to go down as an infield single. So very similar play when Shugo Maki had to go up to the middle and throw off his back leg. And that caused the runner Takumi to be safe. I believe it was Takumi who had singled there in that last inning, or maybe it was the inning before when Calixte was safe. But ultimately, a very similar type of play there for the second baseman, Yamamoto, who had to range to his right, and Kajiwara is safe at first. That brings up Ryuki Watari to the plate, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew to center field his first time up. Average is at 273. He stands right with his toes on the chalk as Takahashi steps off the back of the rubber and feigns the throw to first. So Kajiwara, the runner at first, and Watari batting here at the plate. As the right-hander works himself to the set, now he's ready to go. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left center field. Moving over underneath it is the center fielder. That's Okabayashi. He's going to make the catch. And retreating back to first is the runner, Kajiwara. So that is going to be 2 gone here. He's going to leave it all up to the first baseman, Kaito Sano. Well, for Sano, he strides to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to second his first time up. And he is waiting on the first offering here from the right-hander Takahashi. Runner at first, Kajiwara. 2 gone here in the third. Already 1 on the board here for the BayStars as he takes a fastball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I looked at this BayStars lineup tonight. It's a pretty formidable lineup. The only one that they're really missing here is Tyler Austin, who's going to be out for a little bit. As the right-hander holds himself to the set, now Takahashi ready to deliver. And now he kicks and fires. A fastball swung on, is grounded. And it gets off the glove of the first baseman. It dribbles over to the second baseman. And everybody's going to be safe. We're going to have to see how they're going to score that one. I have a feeling that's going to go as an error on Shonakata. Should have been had. If anything, should have kept it in front of him. We'll get a look at the replay here. So things are going a little bit strangely here now in this one. Sano had ripped the ball. I don't know. Maybe they'll rule it a base hit. We'll have to wait and see what they say because Sano had to drop to his knee as he was coming off the base. He wasn't able to make the play, but that's going to put runners at first and second. It's going to bring the dangerous Shugo Maki to the plate. We'll get an update for you when they show it or flash it. Harrison asked, what happened to Tyler Austin? If I'm not mistaken, they said it was a lower body injury. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, maybe fouled the ball off his leg or foot. I don't think it was hamstring related. There's a fastball swung at it, is chopped over to short, fielded on a couple of hops by the shortstop Muramatsu, and he throws to first, and that's going to retire Maki on a ground out 6-3. And that is going to do it here in the third inning for the BayStars. But they get a run back. We're going to have to get you all the subtotals in just a moment, but we know they got at least 1 run. There might have been an error, or there might have been 3 hits. We're not sure, but I do know this. There were 2 runners left aboard. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. It is going to the bottom of the third. Your score is the Dragons 2 and the BayStars 1. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We'll try to find out if there was an error or not when we return. We'll be right back in just a few. Well, we can tell you this. It was a hit, not an error. And we'll be back in just a bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend CV is in the house. We welcome you to the stream. It is going to be Kenta Bright, Seiya Hosokawa, and Orlando Calixte to come to bat against Anthony Kay. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Bright today is 1 for 1. He's singled and scored a run so far. Batting from the right side here against the American left-hander. Rocks into the windup and delivers. There's a breaking ball. Misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. Harrison says good night, but he'll still be listening. Well, maybe we'll put you to sleep. As that is, we do that sometimes. Our friend CV was in the house earlier for that wild and crazy game. There's a breaking ball that's waved at and missed as Kenta Bright is going to go for a little walk around the home plate area. So that is going to run the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I don't know how long you stayed in that game, CV, or if you're still with us here, but that was pretty crazy, that Cubs and Diamondbacks game today. I think I've seen anything like that, quite like that in a while. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count is 1-2 to Bright. CV says, just listening. I was thinking about the Diamondbacks and that Cubs, as he said, sorting cards. Yeah, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bright. Anthony Kay, who gets the start tonight, the American lefty, as he is facing the Dragons here, his 3rd start of the year. We're also talking about a few things with regards to just in general. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way, it is a fastball taken for a called 3rd strike. Bright stood there like the house by the side of the road, and he watched that go by for out number 1. That's the 2nd strikeout recorded tonight by Anthony Kay. So 1 in the books. That's going to bring up the right fielder in Seiya Hosokawa. The other thing that was crazy was, we mentioned before, was the amount of people that we had in that stream. It was at some point today, we had 66 people that were listening. There was 1,400 people went through the stream as the first pitch is a breaking ball waved at and missed. Count is 0-1 to Hosokawa. Hosokawa raised his average to 191 on this season with that knock in the first inning. Also drove in his 5th run of the year. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Hosokawa taps both sides of the plate as he is ready to the offering here from Kay. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Looking forward to getting on a flight in about 38 hours of time, I think it is now. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on, is lifted down the left field line. It's going to stay fair into the left field corner. Going in after it is Setsugo. He's going to throw it in, and it's going to be a 1-out double here off the bat of Hosokawa. So maybe he's starting to get fired up here for the Dragons. That's his 2nd hit of the night. So he's got a 1-out double. That's going to bring up the 3rd baseman, Orlando Calixte, to the plate. Well, for Calixte, he is a 1 for 1. He's also driven in a run tonight. I have to say, it almost looked like a one-handed swing off of the bat of Hosokawa. He took his top hand off well too early and golfed it into that corner. So runner at second, Hosokawa. 1 gone here. Orlando Calixte waits on the offering here from Anthony Kay. It is a fastball that misses inside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Calixte, with that hit in the first inning, has raised his season average up to an even 200. He's getting the start at 3rd base. When we saw the Dragons earlier this year, he was playing some first base for them. Don't normally think of Calixte as a first baseman. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. Count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Calixte once upon a time was a Kansas City Royal and then a San Francisco Giant before making his way over to Japan to play for the Chunichi Dragons. So here comes the 1-1 pitch as the Left-hander K checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dragons with 2 runs in the first inning. The BayStars were able to claw one back in the third. That's made the scoreline where it is right now at 2-1. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. It is popped up on the infield. Moving over underneath it is Mackey. He's calling for it, and he makes the catch. And Calixte is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone, and that is going to leave it up to Shonakata. One thing I have to say that we're falling down on tonight is our banner and our ticker underneath. I apologize for that. We have a little different setup sometimes for our games with the Central League versus that of the Pacific League. I'd have to explain it to you, but I'll have to spare you the details. That is our end of things. That is going to bring to the plate right now. It's going to bring Nakata. As the left-hander holds himself to the set, now K delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. Is popped up in foul territory. Giving chase is the catcher and the first baseman, Yamamoto and Sano, but they run out of real estate as it drifts into the seats. It's going to be no balls and 1 strike to Nakata. Nakata, a veteran player. He was a long-time Hokkaido Nippon ham fighter. And then he ended up taking his act over to the Yomiuri Giants. And he spent 3 seasons with the Giants, and then the last couple of years he's been with the Chunichi Dragons. Nakata broke into the NPB way back in 2009. So no balls and 1 strike as he bats from the right side. He's lost a lot of game, though, I have to say. He's not the player that he once was. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count goes even to 1-1. So when you have a team like the Dragons and you have Nakata, he's probably brought in to stabilize some of the younger players. As I say, it's a pretty solid crowd in Nagoya for this one tonight. Really impressed. I wonder how many road fans from Yokohama would have made it, as they are probably geographically the closest rival. 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on it. It's ripped foul down the left field line. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nakata. Actually, Nakata did a pretty good job of really keeping his hands inside the ball there, as he had hit that ball into the seats. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Nakata waits on the offering here from the left-hander Anthony K. K has settled down a bit since that first inning. He checks the runner, now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it. Is popped up. It's playable. It's in foul territory. Underneath it is the catcher Yamamoto. He's going to make the grab, and that is going to do it here for the Dragons in their half of the third inning. So a third of the game is in the books. We're moving along at a pretty good clip. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 4th inning. Your score is the Dragons 2, the BayStars 1. We're going to go refresh our beverage. We're going to put a little bit of music on for you, and hopefully you guys will come on back to join us for the top of inning number 4 when we return. It is 2-1 for the Dragons. We'll be back in just a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. We're a little slow getting back into the chair here as we're going to be bringing you the top of the fourth inning. It is that time of the year that we are going to the iced tea, and that is where we're at right now. Going to knock off a few of those here through the evening. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the call along here with us. It is going to be coming to bat Toshiro Miyazaki, Yudai Yamamoto, and Yoshi Satsugo. That would be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the BayStars. Miyazaki 0 for 1 tonight. He popped out to the catcher his first time up. He saw his average drop to 277. First pitch breaking ball misses upstairs. Count is 1-0. Our friend CV says that sounded like a game in Mexico. Just the music. Yeah, it could be. I'm looking forward to seeing what it brings in Taiwan this summer. Going to try to get 3 or 4 games in there. As that breaking ball misses down, the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Toshiro Miyazaki. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Takahashi, who has allowed 3 hits in his 3 innings work so far as the right-hander delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. Yeah, CV says the U.S. games are just a DJ. You know, I'm old enough to remember when going to Old Tigers Stadium when the fans would actually start the chants and the cheers and they would clap and they would have, there was this old guy that used to run around the stadium. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop, Miramatsu, who throws to first. That's going to retire Miyazaki. Ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. And his name was the Brow. And the reason they called him the Brow is he was like the unibrow. His hair went from one side of his eye all the way straight across to the other. There was nothing on the in-between. And he used to dress up, it almost looked like he was in a barbershop outfit. And he would go around and lead the cheers. He would have different things he would show the crowd. And he wasn't employed by the Tigers, but he was doing what some of the people used to, or you see now that they do when the employees are, trying to lead cheers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike by Yamamoto. Yamamoto was hit by a pitch his first time up. Oh, does not have an official at bat here tonight yet. As the 0-1's on the way, it's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. The count goes to 0-2. And so, you know, if the chants would start or the claps would get going, and that would be something he generated. But that really started to go away in the 90s. You could go to the games, and then it was the exploding scoreboards and the base races and all the rest of that stuff. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 1-2. And I have to say, it's not it takes away from the game, the exploding scoreboard. The fans really aren't involved in the play. They're not involved in it. And you wonder sometimes if people are actually watching the game. Go to somebody, what was the score? And they don't know. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Yamamoto as the right-hander ready to go again. He kicks and he fires. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted foul down the right field line. As it drifts into the seats and the count remains at 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's a hard part sometimes, you know, when you think about the games of yesteryear. Maybe the quality of the baseball in some ways is a lot better today. The technology to develop players at times is better. Fastball misses down. The count's 2-2. Just the condition of the physical athletes that are playing, the weight training, not necessarily the steroid era, but the players that are playing in today's game, better nutrition, better workout program in a lot of ways. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on. It is lifted in the right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Has a funny hop. It is picked up by the right fielder, Hosokawa. He's going to fire it back in, but Yudai Yamamoto has a board with a 1-out single, and that's going to bring up the left fielder in Yoshi Satsugo. Undecided if that last pitch was a splitter or a two-seamer. The pitcher, Takahashi, did not have his fingers really super wide on the ball, and the ball did have arm side run. Not as much depth as I would expect from a split finger. So Satsugo here coming to bat. He's 0 for 1 today. He flew out to center his first time up. Average is at 150 on the year. They're going to need Satsugo to produce here if the BayStars are going to do some more damage in 2025. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. I guess I'm going to have to go back to Yokohama because they were celebrating all their championship that they won in the late 90s. Had all the pictures and everything else when I was there a couple of years ago. Well, now they can update all their pictures, as last year the BayStars had lifted the Japan series. As here comes the offering. It is a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Satsugo. So no balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first, Yamamoto. 1 gone here in inning number 4. As the lefty Satsugo waggles the bat. Waiting on the offering here from Takahashi. Checks the runner as he works to the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Satsugo, one of the rare switch hitters in Japan. You don't see a lot of Japanese switch hitters. It's either righties or lefties. But he does stand in there on the left side. There are sometimes, though, I'd say that I've seen some guys that are listed as switch hitters, and they might stay on the same side of the plate, even against certain lefties or certain righties. 1-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, is grounded over the left side. They go to second for 1, back to first. And it's going to be a double play. We're going to wait to see here if they're going to maybe look at this one. I have to take a peek here if there's going to be a challenge, but I don't think so. It's going to be a double play that's going to go in the books as a 6-4-3 variety. And that is going to do it here for the BayStars in their half of the inning. They had no runs. They did have a hit. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We are now moving to the bottom half of inning number 4. It is the Dragons 2, the BayStars 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few with all the action right after this. We appreciate you guys for listening with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We are skipping along here to the bottom of inning number 4 as Anthony Kay is coming back out to start his 4th inning of work. It'll be the bottom 3 hitters in the batting order: Kaito Muramatsu, Kano Takumi, and Hiroto Takahashi to face the left-hander. 45 pitches through the first 3 innings for Kay, which is pretty much on schedule, that what we would expect. As he is ready to face the left-handed hitting Muramatsu. And the first pitch is a fastball that catches the inside corner at 95. No balls and 1 strike. Muramatsu 0 for 1 tonight, flew out to the left field his first time up. He squares to bunt, and there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We are going to do another game tomorrow night. Haven't decided which one we're going to do. Probably Looking for one at the 9 o'clock Pacific hour, midnight Eastern, if you're with us in North America. There is a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count goes to 2-1. We may try to update that for everybody here in the next inning or so, especially depending also too on what the pitching matchups have to offer, as that also plays a role in our selections. As the lefty K delivers, fastball swung on, it's chopped foul over down the first base line. The count goes to 2-2. We thought about maybe selecting the second game in this series because it goes off at 9:30 Pacific. That is one of the plans. The other one is maybe to do the Eagles and the Marines, or possibly the Lions and the Hawks, but I'll have to wait to see what the matchups would be there. In terms of the pitching, here comes the 2-2 pitch. As the lefty K rocks into the windup and delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away right into the feet of the batter. Count remains at 2-2 to Muramatsu. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lefty ready to go as he works himself to the set. And the 2-2 ready to come here from Anthony K as he rocks and delivers. Breaking ball taken for a called third strike. Not sure what Muramatsu was looking for, but he watched that one go by for out number 1. And that is going to bring up the catcher in Keto Takumi. So if our books are correct, that would be the 3rd strikeout tonight recorded by Anthony K. And after giving up those 2 runs in the first inning, it looks like he has started to settle in. As the pitch is on the way, there is a fastball swung on his grounded slowly on the third base side. Oh my goodness, what an unbelievable athletic play that was from Anthony K. Anthony K had to come off the bag toward the third base line. He fielded it. He wheeled 360, jumped in the air like a shortstop, and threw a one-hopper to the first baseman, Sano, to be able to retire Takumi. If you are on Instagram tonight and you get a chance and look at the BayStars, I did not expect that from Anthony K, but what a play that was. That's going to go down as a ground out 1-3, but put a star next to that one. Fantastic play. Oh, man. Need a shortstop. Maybe call on AK. As a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs to Takahashi, counts 1-0. Takahashi does not have an at-bat tonight. He officially had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. He's moonwalking out of the batter's box. There's Hiroto Takahashi. Doesn't look like he wants any part of Anthony K. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the left-hander kicks and delivers. He squares to bunt. And he takes that for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. Takahashi does have a couple of hits this year in 6 at-bats, so I wonder why he wasn't trying his luck here against Anthony K. Here's the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and line foul. Just got to straighten that one out a bit. As it's going to keep the count at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Takahashi. As the lefty K works himself into the set and delivers. It's a fastball that is spiked up to the plate. The count now goes to 2-2. Interesting. When Trevor Bauer got called for a balk in the exhibition series, because he started his windup, he started in front of the rubber. When you look at Anthony K, he too starts with his stride foot in front of the rubber, and then he steps backwards into his windup. I wonder if he had 2 strikes, if he would get hit, or if he had runners on, if he'd get hit with a balk. Assuming he does that, not just pitch from the stretch. Now it's 3-2 to Takahashi. As the lefty delivers, it is a fastball swung on and another one fouled away. So if anything, the pitcher for the Dragons is making K work, and you're taking some bullets out of his arm. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Takahashi. It's turning into a bit of a marathon at bat. The 8th pitch coming up right now. Here's the 3-2. Fastball waved at and missed, and that's going to do it. Takahashi sprints back to the dugout. Oh, that's got to be one of the funnier things I've seen in a while. He's in the books, and in order go the Dragons. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 4 complete. Your score is the Dragons 2, the BayStars 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the top of the 5th when we return right after this. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us today on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back in just a few. We'll be right back in just a few. Your score is the Dragons 2, the BayStars 1. We are moving to the top of inning number 5. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here for the BayStars. As Anthony K is chugging back the water in the dugout, that means it's going to be Hayashi, K, and Kajiwara to come to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. The right-hander Takahashi, who finished the last half inning, just completed his warm-up tosses. One thing that I noticed is that in between innings in the Japanese League, it is longer in between innings in the Central League than it is in the Pacific League. And I think the reason for that has to be is that the pitchers, because they bat, they get a little extra time to return to the field, especially after they're done their at-bat. Pacific League is pretty much about a minute and change, and they're ready to go. They don't waste any time. Here comes the first offering. It is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1 to Hayashi. I'd be interested, too, to know which league goes quicker. They often tell you on the NPB website what the average length of a 9-inning game is, but my guess is that it would probably be the Central League would be quicker, as the 0-1 is on the way. Fastball swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. Moving over is Okibayashi. He's going to make that catch. And that is going to retire Hayashi for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the pitcher in Anthony K. Well, for K, he officially does not have a at-bat tonight. He does have a sacrifice to his name, as he dropped a pretty good bunt down his last time up. So he is going to be facing his counterpart here. There was a pretty good article. I'd like to find it, and it had to do with pitchers facing other pitchers, especially in the National League, when that used to happen in Major League Baseball. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike, count on 1 to K. And they used to talk about what it felt like when you were pitching against other pitchers and how you faced them. There's a fastball that swung on. It is lifted foul down the left field line as it slices into the seats, and the count is quickly 0-2 to Anthony K. Just how sometimes pitchers would get in their own heads when they have to throw to other pitchers. Guys would be standing there and not expecting them to hit or not expecting them to swing the bat. Here's the 0-2. It's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. Sometimes when I watch hitter or pitchers hit, I think of what it would be when you have somebody who hasn't played the game in 20 or 30 years and you put them up to plate, or no experience against a hitter. Fastball misses outside. It's now 2-2 to K. Or I think of parents who are coaching kids and are trying to give advice on how to hit and do things, and then you put them in the box and you watch them. You say, okay, let's see you do it. They don't really know where to stand. There's a fastball that swung on, and it's lifted foul down the left field line again. The count remains at 2-2 to K. I always find that to be very interesting. Parents know how to do it until they have to actually go in and do it. Let's put the machine up. Let's forget 90 miles an hour. Let's just put 70 miles an hour on the machine and see how the parents fare. And not always too well. There's a fastball swung on it. Another one lifted foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 2-2. So Anthony K giving Hiroto Takahashi a little taste of his own medicine. It took 8 pitches for Takahashi to strike out, or for K to strike out Takahashi. This is now going to be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up here for the right-hander. As he kicks and delivers. Here's another fastball, and another one swung foul. And so now it's kind of tit for tat. So now this is going to be the 8th pitch coming up here to Anthony K. I have to tell you, Anthony K, we were talking about guys hitting with 2 strikes and changing up and doing something different. Well, K does choke up on the bat. I'll give him that. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball just misses outside. It's now going to be 3-2. So it looks like he's going to outdo his partner, or outdo his counterpart here, I should say. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Anthony K. As a reminder, after the 5th inning, we will take a timeout. Extended timeout. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats. Count remains at 3-2. And going to be the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up here. Got to say that his teammates are going to be fist pumping him when he gets back to the dugout. Not sure why the pitcher Takahashi wasted. I would have thrown him a hard slider or a hard breaking ball of some variety. Maybe about 5 or 6 pitches ago. There's a fastball that misses down, and K's going to win the battle. He's going to get himself a walk. He's going to head over to first base. So that's going to bring up the top of the order in Koki Kojiwara. The Dragon Brass not looking overly impressed. As the pitcher K took 10 bullets out of the right-hander and earned himself a walk. Good for you, Anthony K. Well, Kajiwara comes to the plate. He is 1 for 2 today. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also grounded to short. That was 45 pitches through 4 innings for Takahashi, and then 10 right away there with 1 out to Anthony K. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on, grounded back to the pitcher. They go to second for 1, back to first, and that's going to be an inning-ending double play. That's going to go in the books as a 1-6-3 variety, as that will do it here in the 5th inning. So they had no runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're halfway through this one. We are moving to the bottom of the 5th. It'll be the top of the order to come to bat for the Dragons, and we'll be back in just a bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few. Hang tight. Appreciate you listening.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Anthony K is just completing his tune-up tosses as we're ready to resume the bottom half of inning number 5. It'll be the top of the order, Yuki Okabayashi, then Yasuhiro Yamamoto, and then Kenta Bright to face the lefty Anthony K. 6 hits tonight for the Dragons. They got 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors. It is 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors for the BayStars. As it'll be the top of the order here to face the lefty K here in this one. So here we go, back to the action. Left-hander against the left-hander is Anthony K ready to go to work. He kicks and he delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. 60 pitches through 4 innings for the American lefty. He is on a pretty good pace this far here, as it's 0-1 pitches coming on the way. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I have to say, I really like Okabayashi. He can run a little bit. He's a fire starter at the top of the order. As the lefty K delivers, slow breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-1. Can really do a lot of damage. Can Okabayashi when given the opportunity. He also plays some pretty good defense. I like the way he gets jumps on balls. 2-1 on the way. Fastball just misses, and the count goes to 3-1. I have to tell you, those pitches didn't miss by much. I wonder sometimes, and we've seen this before, where the North American players get jobbed a little bit or squeezed a little bit by the Japanese umpires. And certainly when you have some of the stars of the Japanese at the plate, they may get the benefit of the doubt, so to speak. Here's the 3-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 3-2. I kind of get it. I kind of understand it. You got to be better than most. It's kind of like a boxer in a fight, in a prize fight. If you were the challenger and you're boxing, you don't just have to beat the champion. You got to knock him out. There's a fastball swung on his chop right back to the pitcher. K fields it. He throws to first. It's going to be a ground out 1-3. So Okabayashi in the books for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Yasuhiro Yamamoto. Well, for Yamamoto, officially 0-1 tonight. He's also got a sacrifice to his name. He has really struggled this year. He's batting .067. So he is looking to get off the schneid a bit there. There's a fastball swung on it. It's lifted foul down the right field line as it slices into the seats. No balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty K rocks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And so Yamamoto's got himself his second hit of the year, and boy, did he ever need that. So he's got himself a single. That is going to bring up Kenta Bright, the left fielder. Well, you can see in Japan the American influence, or I say American, it's maybe the Latin influence on American baseball, where you see all these celebrations. He gets to the base and he's giving the bench some sort of celebration. Well, it's a base hit here with 1 out in the last half of the 5th inning. I don't know what the big-time celebration is about, other than the fact that's your second hit of the year. Well, that brings Kenta Bright to the plate. Bright is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He scored the second run for the Dragons. He takes a breaking ball inside for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Bright batting from the right side here against the left-handed throwing K. Wearing Jackie Robinson's number 42. Of course, it is not retired in the NPB, but it is recognized and retired in Major League Baseball. There is a fastball swung on his grounded foul past the bag at third base, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I remember when Lewis Brinson wore 42 for the Yomiuri Giants a couple of years ago when I was watching in Japan. And so some of the players, specifically the black players, will don 42, which they can wear on a regular basis. It's not worn elsewhere as they throw over to first base and diving back in time. I think one thing that would be kind of interesting is they only wear it on Jackie Robinson Day, and it's celebrated one day a year. One thing I'd be interested in Major League Baseball is if they allowed a player of African American heritage who wanted to wear 42 year round to be able to do that. I think that would be something that also would honor Jackie as well, as there's a ball that is thrown over to first base again, and diving back is the base runner Yamamoto. But that's just my take on it. I think it would be kind of a cool concept that African-American player or black player can choose to wear 42 in Major League Baseball, and they would allow them to do that rather than just the one-day celebration a year. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball waved out and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Bright. Brighthead went for a fish. Actually, we said it was a breaking ball, but it looked more of a split finger pitch from Anthony Kay. Interesting. I didn't know that was a part of his repertoire. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Bright, as he digs himself back in, ready to face the offering from the lefty. 1-2 is on its way as Kay is working to the set. He checks the runner Yamamoto at first. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first, Yamamoto. He was there with a 1-out single. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bright, as Anthony Kay about ready to deliver his 73rd pitch of the ball game. As he leans in and gets his sign from his catcher, he works himself to the set. And now the pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on. The runner was on the move. And that is going to be lined foul, and the count is 2-2 to Bright. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As I said, one thing that I did notice earlier on was just how the game is presented on Major League Baseball. I'm so used to watching the Japanese feeds, and then you get used to watching some of the games in North America. The camera work was so stagnant at the Cubs game. I don't know, maybe they're not paying enough people to do the game. There's a fastball swung on and missed. That pitch was at 97 miles an hour. And Anthony Kay blows it right by Kenta Bright. He's in the books for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 gone, and that's going to leave it up to the right fielder, Seiya Hosokawa. And for Hosokawa, well, he is a 2 for 2 tonight. He's got a single, a double, and an RBI. As the lefty leans in and he gets his sign. And here comes the pitch. On its way, fastball misses down and in. The count is 1-0 to Hosokawa. So 1 ball and no strikes. Hosokawa waiting from the offering from the left-hander Kay, who works himself to the set. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field, moving back on it. And underneath it, with room to make the catch, is the center fielder Kajiwara. And that is going to do it. And that is going to retire Hosokawa here for out number 3. Well, they leave a runner aboard to the Dragons. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We are now through 5 complete. Your score is the Dragons 2 and the BayStars 1. We'll be back in just a few, everybody. We're going to take a little time out and put the music on loop, as it is what we like to call a Japanese halftime. We'll refresh our drink, and we'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the sixth inning. Your score line is 2-1 for the Dragons. We'll be right back after this. It is what we like to call the Japanese halftime. And we'll be right back in just a few. Hang tight. We'll see you in a bit. We got ourselves a 2-1 lead for the Dragons as we're going to be going to the top of the sixth. We'll be back in just a little bit. We appreciate you guys for being with us here. Hang tight. We will be back with all the action in just a few. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. We've got ourselves a 2-1 ball game. We appreciate you guys for listening in. Out of town scoreboard, we have 3-0 ball game as the Carp are enjoying their lead over top of the Hanshin Tigers. The other score from the Pacific League, it is 2-2 in the top of the fifth between the Buffaloes and the Fighters. The other 3 games all go off later on. It is going to be at the top of the hour. It'll be the Eagles and the Marines. That goes from the Rakuten Mobile Stadium. Luna Dome, it'll be the Lions and the Hawks. That goes off at 6 o'clock local time, as is the game at the Jingu between the Giants and the Swallows. So 1 strike already delivered here to Watari, who is facing the right-hander Takahashi. He takes a fastball down, and the count is 1-1. Watari 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown both times to center field. Our friend CV says he's still in here listening and just hanging out. Oh, we appreciate you for doing that, CV. Glad to have you in the house for this one here, as it is 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander Takahashi delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field, and over underneath it with room to make the catch is the right fielder Seo Hosokawa, and that will retire Watari for the first out of the inning here in inning number 6. So 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the first baseman, Kaito Sano. Well, for Sano, he is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also grounded out to second. He's batting .302 on the season. No homers and 6 RBIs as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We have enjoyed our Major League commentary this year. I'm just a little bit flabbergasted at the amount of people that we've had into our streams. 0-1 pitch on the way. It's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. Or maybe pleasantly surprised. I'm not sure how I would put it, but either way, for us to be getting those kind of numbers has been fantastic. As the 0-2 pitch is ready to come, the right-hander holds at the set. And now Takahashi ready to deliver. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. One of the things I was talking earlier to our friend Steve Rademacher, who likes to do a lot of the stuff on our in-between commercials. And I was talking to Steve, and I said, in some ways, it's kind of fun to do things. We're amateurs trying to do things professionally. There's nothing worse than having a list of professionals who do it in an amateur way. I do kind of hope that everybody who does listen in knows that we are not taking a regular salary for this. As the 1-2 is on the way, it's a fastball that misses outside. It now goes to 2-2. And we do enjoy doing it because if not, we're just going to sit and watch the game nonetheless. So why not talk about it while we're watching it? So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander works himself to the belt. And now Takahashi ready to deliver. He kicks and he fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into left center field, giving chase and making the catch on the run. Oh, what a beautiful play there by Okabayashi. And that's going to retire Sano for the second out of the inning. 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it up to the second baseman, Shugo Maki. I've never been to this stadium, and I've only seen it, as we say, as we're making the calls online for this particular venue. It just looks more spacious than a lot of the other parks in the NPB. It looks like there's a lot of real estate, maybe more in straightaway center field. I caught the glimpses of the dimensions down the left field line. It's like 330. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So whether it's down the left field line, the right field line, I really don't know. So no balls and 1 strike here to Shugo Maki. As the right-hander works himself to the belt, now he kicks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly to short. Fielded neatly by Muramatsu, who throws to first, and that is going to do it. Maki's going to be gone on a ground out 6-3. He's gone for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for the BayStars in their half of the 6th. They go in order with no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Well, back in just a few, your score is the Dragons 2, the BayStars 1. Bottom of the 6th is just around the corner. Appreciate you guys for listening here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Here is our friend Steve Rademacher. We were talking about him earlier in the stream. Check out his channel when you get a chance. Steve Rademacher, friend of the channel, and friend to everybody who likes hot sauce.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat here to face Anthony Kay in inning number 6. Orlando Calixte here to lead it off, and then it'll be Shonakata and Kaito Muramatsu. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and in. The count is 1-0. 76 pitches through the 5 innings for Kay. He has been moving along smoothly. I would think we might be able to squeeze a 7th inning out of him because depending on where they're at in the batting order, he may be able to get another inning. As there's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Calixte. Our friend CV says, I need a video. Or need to do a video. Yeah, you do. Where you been, Caesar? We've been waiting. And I was talking about it as, again, I said to Steve Rademacher, we're going to try to maybe do a little bit of a theme like that. Ground ball hit just past the bag, foul at third. The count goes to 1-2. Try to do things in a professional way, but amateurishly. I've got a couple ideas that we're going to actually do on our own here, and that might be the theme, especially for the major league games. I know we had somebody in there earlier and was saying he couldn't believe that we went on for 3+ hours doing it solos. Even the big league guys get to take a break. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded over to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop Hayashi. who throws to first, and Calixte has gone on a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the first baseman in Shonakata. CV said lots of homers. Yeah, there were in that game today. There was all kinds of stuff. And early in the game, they said the wind was not blowing out. It was actually blowing in from right field. As I mentioned, in Wrigley Field, you wait 5 minutes and it changes. You wait 10 minutes and changes a couple of times. So that is going to bring Nakata to the plate. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses for ball one. Counts 1-0. Nakata has lined to third and popped to the catcher. And his 2 trips to the plate so far tonight. As Kay delivers a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. I don't know, CP, if you heard about myself and Steve Rademacher. We had a friendly wager. As the 2-0 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung. This ball is belted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And this ball is going to be fair, and it's going to be a home run. And Sho Nakata has hit his first home run of the year, a solo shot off of Anthony Kay. It hugged the line down the left field line on the 2-0 pitch. And he absolutely smoked it, is able to get into the seats. And that is going to increase the score line to 3-1. As Nakata rounds the bases. That is big news for him. So CV said, who lost the bet? I don't know if you lost the bet or won the bet. I won the bet. And so what that was is Steve did not think that the Dodgers were going to get shut out this year. I said, I'll take that bet. There's only been 2 times in Major League history that a team has gone the whole season and never got shut out. It was, I believe, the 2002 Cincinnati Reds. Fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. And the other one was, I believe, the 1935 or 36 Yankees, but those were the 2 teams in history that never were shut out in a season. 1-0 on the way. It is a fastball swung on, chopped up the middle, fielded by Mackey, moving to his right, and he throws to first, and Muramatsu has gone on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Kato Takumi. So the deal was this: if I win, then I will fly into Kansas City next year. Steve has got to buy tickets for the game, 2 games, and we're going for some barbecue in Kansas City. And there's a first pitch breaking ball that goes off the glove of the catcher Yamamoto. It's ball 1. Takumi, 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single in 2 trips. He's also grounded to the pitcher. Now, on the other side of the coin, had I lost that and Rademacher would have won it, he would have had to get into Seattle. I would have had to be on the hook for tickets for 2 games for me and Steve to go to. And I was going to be taking him for fish and chips one night at Ivers. There's the fastball swung on and fouled away. If you've ever eaten in the restaurant there at Ivers, it's a good meal. Fish right on the water there, and you could do an outside takeaway or you could do a sit down, and my deal with him was we were going to do that. There's a fastball that swung on and it's chopped foul over on the third base side. Counts 1-2. So when the schedule comes out, which will be sometime later in the season, usually I think they bring it out in September now. They don't have the times, and I'll start perusing that, taking a look at it, and see if I can make something work in my own schedule to fly in and be able to do that. Breaking ball misses down. The count goes to 2-2 on Takumi. CB says the Dodgers are good, but the Padres are surprisingly good too. That is one tough division. You think about it, the Diamondbacks are sitting in 4th in that division, but arguably could be a top 2 team in anywhere else in Major League Baseball. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Takumi is in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Dragons in their half of the 6th inning. They got a run in the inning on a solo shot by Sho Nakata. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left the board. We're now moving to the top of inning number 7. It is going to be the BayStars coming to bat. 3-1 is your score, and we'll be back in just a couple moments after we get ourselves a little drink and a little bit of a stretch. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I gotta go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top half of inning number 7. The back third of the ball game is ready to be had here. It is going to be Miyazaki, Yamamoto, and Tsutsugo to come to bat here in the 7th for the BayStars. I would say it'll be a bit of a chess match. I would think that Kei will come in for the bottom half of the 7th as long as he doesn't come to bat in the inning. If they do come to him, and I think that there would be a chance that his night, a really good chance his night will be over. But we'll have to wait and see here. On the flip side, Takahashi, 66 pitches through 6. I honestly don't think that he's going to skip a beat. He might be in here for the whole duration. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Counts 0-1. CV said Steve made a sucker's bet. Steve made the statement. And he didn't think the Dodgers were going to get shut out. I said, you want to bet on that? He says, yeah. I said, that's a no-brainer for me. And it only took, 2 weeks in the season? Fastball misses upstairs. The count goes to 1-1. I know they're major league teams, but at times in the year that teams will be banged up and they'll have a rough stretch. I don't even know if the Dodgers are the best team in the National League West this year. I look at the lineup outside of the top 4 or 5 hitters in the lineup. I get a little nervous. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's 2-1. Now, mind you, their pitching staff, I don't know if you'd want to face them at a 3 or a 5 or a 7 game set in the playoffs because they could run you out. But is their offense going to be enough to carry them? So here comes the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch to Miyazaki. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that just misses outside. It's now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Miyazaki. Again, the right-hander working himself to the belt. As he holds himself set, here comes the 3-1 pitch. Fastball center cut. The count goes now to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Miyazaki. I was telling a couple people the other night, sitting in the press box, sometimes at some of the minor league parks, depending upon where they're located, you can really get a bird's eye view. As the 3-2 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the right field line, and it is going to remain at 3-2 to Miyazaki. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander ready to go again as he works himself to the belt. As he kicks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is lined back to the pitcher, and he's able to make a snow cone catch. It wasn't actually hit that particular hard. It was a bit of a looping ball, and the pitcher, Takahashi, came off the mound. He was able to catch that ball. We'll watch that one again. It looked like it was off the fists A nice athletic play. We've seen both the pitchers make some athletic plays here in this one tonight. Miyazaki's gone for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the catcher in Yudai Yamamoto. So Anthony Kay with his jump throw. And now Takahashi being able to snare that looping liner. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count goes 0-1 to Yamamoto. Yamamoto's been aboard twice tonight. He was hit by a pitch, and he has a single in his 2 trips. No homers and 10 RBIs on the year. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yudai Yamamoto. Yoshi Satsuga waiting his turn on deck. BayStars in the hole here, 3-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander works to the set, now he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and chopped foul over on the third base side. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the right-hander again ready to go. Takahashi works himself to the belt. As the 1-2 is on its way. He kicks and he fires. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Yamamoto goes into the books. He's out for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it all up to Yoshi Satsugo. And I find this a little bit hard to believe. That looks like it's the first strikeout of the night recorded by Takahashi. I had to go through my notes here, and it doesn't look like that he's got any others in this one here tonight. So everything else has been in the air or on the ground, and that is the first one in the books that he's taking care of himself. So this brings Satsugo to the plate, who is 0 for 2. And that is a fly ball to center. He's grounded into a double play. There is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. Sales Windshield Repair says, can you do double duty and comment on the Oryx game as well? Nah, I've only got one game that we're focused on right now, and that's this one here. I haven't got the lineups or anything else done up for the other one. So sometimes we'll jump over, but I'm not going to do that one here tonight, unfortunately. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. We'll have to look at tomorrow's lineup. As I said, this one here would go off at 12:30. I'm going to try to do a game tomorrow. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count goes to 2-1 on Satsugo. I got some running around to do in the day, but I'm going to try to get one more NPB game in tomorrow. And then we'll be off for a week's time or so. We're going to try to squeeze a couple of games in, but I'm just not sure what we're going to do. We might be able to get up at 5 in the morning Eastern to get a couple of games in. There's a fastball that misses outside, but I always know heading east is always going to be a problem because I always get jet lag going east. I never can get my days turned around at the best of times, and then flying back west, certainly a lot easier to do that. So here's the 3-1. As the right-hander delivers a fastball that misses upstairs, it's going to be ball 4, and Satsugo is going to be aboard with a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up a shortstop in Takuma Hayashi. Well, for Hayashi, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a double in 2 trips. As Satsugo acknowledges the fan base. So Hayashi coming to bat. I'd be curious here. If Hayashi reaches base, you can pretty much bet Anthony Kay's night would be done. My guess is if Hayashi ends up either grounding out or hitting into a fielder's choice, I think what will happen is Anthony Kay is going to come back out for the 7th. That's my guess. But it all depends on what Hayashi does here. Here comes the first offering from Takahashi. As he kicks and fires, it's a fastball swung on, grounded back to the pitcher. Fielded underhand, flipped to first, and Takahashi bounces off the field. It's going to go as a ground out 1-3. He's got some pretty funny mannerisms. That'll do it here as the BayStars are gone in their 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody or one runner left aboard. We'll be seeing if Anthony K is going to come on back, and in just a few, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" with you guys and everybody else, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 7. Slated to come to bat is the pitcher Takahashi, and then the top of the order in Okabayashi and Yamamoto. We're waiting to see if there are any changes here for either of these two ball clubs. And it does look like maybe Anthony K's day is over, as the BayStars are going to the bullpen, and we'll get you that in just a moment. It's going to be number 45 entering the ball game, which is a right-hander, and that would be Kohei Morihara. So Kohei Morihara in, as he will take over for Anthony K. And so coming to bat here, it looks like we are going to have ourselves a pinch hitter. As for the Dragons, it's going to be number 51. And we'll have to get that for you here in just a moment, as the first pitch is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So both starters are now going to be out. A little surprised that Takahashi's day will be done, as he has been very smooth. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to the pinch hitter of the Dragons. As we said, we have to get that one cut up for you here. We a little behind on our stuff. There's a fastball swung, and it's grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop Hayashi, who's going to throw to first. Ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the top of the order, and Okabayashi, the pinch hitter, we were trying to get the name of as we were going through our crack lineup. That was Seiji Yubiashi, the former Fukuoka SoftBank Hawk. So he is retired for the first out. Brings up the top of the order in Yuki Okabayashi. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kohei Morihara on the mound, as he delivers a fastball for a called strike. And the count now goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Right-hander again kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over on the left side of the infield. Moving back on it, shallow outfield grass, is the shortstop Hayashi, and he's going to put that one away. So 2 up and 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that is going to leave it all up to the second baseman in Yasuhiro Yamamoto. 3-1, the Dragons have the lead here in the 7th inning. Dragons do have a right-hander up and throwing. As the pitch is on the way, it's a first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1. They're going to try to close it off at the back end. So no balls and 1 strike. Yamamoto 1 for 2 today. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also had a sacrifice bunt. Breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle, and it's going to get past the pitcher into center field. And Yamamoto is aboard with a single. I'm just going to bring up the left fielder, Kenta Bright. I say the Dragons fans are on their feet and they're cheering for their home team here. It's a good piece of hitting as he drove it right back through the box, did Yamamoto. And for Yamamoto, that's his second hit of the night. What did we say? I think he was 1 for 16 at that stretch, and now he's got 2 hits. So is he 3 for 18 now on the season? The first pitch to Bright is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count's 0-1. Bright singled and scored a run in the first inning, and he struck out looking in the third and struck out swinging in the fifth. So the right-hander ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes even at 1-1. 2 gone here in the 7th inning as the Dragons batting here with a 3-1 lead. As the right-hander gets his sign from his catcher and he's ready to go back to work. And now he kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that's down. They appeal to the first base umpire. They say Bright didn't go. I don't know about that one. I'm going to get a look at that. Whew. Boy, if I was getting calls like that, I would have made millions. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kenta Bright as he finds himself in a positive count. I'm not sure what the first base umpire was looking at. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, popped up down the right field line. Giving chase is Mackey. And he's going to make it over the shoulder catch. Oh, what a play by the second baseman. And that is going to do it. Kenta Bright is going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, he wasn't able to take advantage of that check swing call. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner stranded. We are now through 7 complete. It is the Dragons ahead of the BayStars 3-1. Hang tight, everybody. It looks like we're going to have a pitching change when we return here in just a moment. We appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Your score, 3-1 Dragons as we move to the top of inning 8. You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be a pitching change here, as it looks like it is going to be. We're just going to get confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it's Junior Marte who is coming into the ball game. We'll get that for you in just a moment once we pick up the number, but I do believe that is who is coming into the game. We'll confirm that in just a couple of moments with you here. That's exactly who it is. Junior Marte entering into the fray as he is making his 8th appearance of the year. He's yet to allow an earned run. Marte had spent parts of 3 seasons in the big leagues. 2022, he was with the San Francisco Giants, and then he was with the Phillies in 2023 and 2024. Originally signed by the Kansas City Royals. And he had also bounced around with a couple of other teams, such as the Seattle Mariners. But he is on in relief here, as he is going to be facing the 9, 1, and 2 batters in the order. So it's not going to be Anthony Kay. It is going to be a pinch hitter here. And it's also not going to be the one for the, as well. It's Yoda Kyoto who is batting here. So he is batting in the pitcher's spot. So Yoda Kyoto here to bat. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So that means that it'll be Kohei Morihara's day will be done as well. So 1 ball and no strikes. 6 outs to go here for the Dragons. And if they can do that, they will pick up a victory here and gain a little closer to the BayStars. Fastball swung on and lifted down the left field line, giving chase, but it is going to hit off the netting as Kaito Maramatsu. So no balls and 1 strike. Or check that, 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyoto. Dragons enjoying a 3-1 lead at home here. I kind of wonder where the Dragons are going. It seems like they're spinning their wheels a bit. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 1-2. As I said, I really like the top of the order in Okabayashi. And then, you look at some of the players in the lineup, and it's just, you're kind of scratching your head. When I look at the way that the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters have built their team, lots of respect for those guys. There's a fastball swung on, is chopped over to short. Oh, that's a nice play by the shortstop, Muramatsu. He charged, he fielded it on the run, took it off of the short hop, and was able to make the play to be able to get Kyoto for the first out of the inning. It's ground out 6-3. So 1 in the books, and it'll bring up the top of the order in Koki Konjiwara. BayStars starting to run out of outs. They only got 5 outs left to go in this one. But the tougher part of the batting order is coming up, as it'll be Konjiwara coming to the plate. He is 1 for 3 today. He's singled, he's grounded out, and grounded into a double play. As the right-hander works to the set, now delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line. Count is quickly no balls and 1 strike to Konjiwara. Konjiwara has pulled his average up to 282 with that knock earlier this evening. 1 homer and 6 runs batted in here for the left-handed hitting center fielder of the BayStars. Marte holds to the set position. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll take a look at the schedule a little later and post up the ones we're doing. We got to see what game is going to work to our schedule best tomorrow. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. We were saying quite possibly could be the same 2 teams, although I have to say I'm not a big fan of the pitching matchup. I'm going to check to see what the BayStars have to offer and that game as well. We'll try to get on the 9 o'clock ones. 1-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and a lifted foul down the left field line. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. I have a very early morning, well, not really early. I have a morning flight out of Seattle on Sunday morning, Easter Sunday. I'd assume the drive down the highway will be fairly smooth in the middle of the night. But I'll try to maybe call a game and then make my way out of Dodge after that. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle. Oh, what a play by the shortstop. Fantastic play by the shortstop, ranging to his left and throwing to first. And that is going to do it. Muramatsu putting on a clinic. That's going to be the second out of the inning. So he's made both of the assists here in the 8th inning. And both in their own rights have been spectacular. This one maybe more so than the first one, as he had the range to his left. And he makes the throw while falling into the outfield side. So 2 gone here, and that is going to leave it up to the right fielder, Ryuki Watari. And so for Watari, he is 0 for 3. He has flown to center twice and flown to right once. So Marte ready to go here as the right-hander facing the left-handed hitting Watari, as Watari waits on the offering. Pitch on the way, breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Junior Marte has been effective here so far. I could see why he had worked 5 games and hasn't allowed an earned run yet. He's been all around the zone, although I have to say he has thrown already 10 pitches here in the inning. There's a pitch that's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. You can see him getting deep into counts, though I don't know if he's got one particular pitch that would be a wipeout pitch. Have to see a little bit more of the right-hander. Here's the 1-1. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Looking up, and this one is going to be gone. A home run off the bat of Watari, and that's going to cut the lead to 3-2 as he will round the bases. A solo shot. That's going to be his first of the 2025 campaign. Solo shot into the, I guess it would be almost a bit of a wall scraper, into the first or second row there in right field. The BayStars have clawed one back as they find themselves now down 3-2. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Kaida Sano. So don't look now, everybody. We got ourselves a new ball game here as the BayStars are looking to claw their way back in. And now Marte officially has an earned run average. So the first pitch to Kaida Sano is a fastball that misses outside for a ball. Ball 1. Sano 1 for 3 tonight, a single in 3 trips. He's also grounded out and flown out. He's been able to raise his season average to 296. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As the right-hander works himself to the set, now the pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. And the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the right-hander works himself to the set. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded softly to short. And again, it is Muramatsu who fields it and throws to first. Well, it was the inning of Muramatsu minus the fact that Watari did hit a home run. So ground out 6-3 to end the inning. It's going to do it for the BayStars. They clawed 1 run back. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left the board. The home run by Watari has the BayStars within 1. Dragons coming to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll see you back in just a few. Hang tight, everybody. We got ourselves a 1-run ball game. Dragons ahead of the BayStars 3-2 as we move to the bottom of the 8th.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel. In turn, we support Steve Rademacher. After the game, be sure to go check him out. It is going to be the heart of the batting order to come to bat for the Dragons. That means it is going to be Seiya Hasakawa, Orlando Calixte, and Sho Nakata. They will be facing Well, we're not sure who they're facing yet for the BayStars. They have a left-hander in the ball game now. It is going to be number 20. This is Yuya Sakamoto, as he is ready to go. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down. They appeal to the first base umpire, but they say that he did not go around, did Hosokawa. So Sakamoto on in relief as the lefty works set and now delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and this is lifted foul, reaching the seats behind home plate, and the count goes even to 1-1. Hosokawa officially 2 for 3 tonight, a single, a double, an RBI, and a flyout to center. All to his name. He has raised his average over 200. As the lefty ready to deliver, he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-1 strike. Orlando Calixte and Sho Nakata to follow here in the 8th. 3-2 lead for the Dragons as the pitch is a breaking ball that just misses down, and the count now goes to 3-1. So 3-1 strike. BayStars will send the heart of their order up to the plate against the Dragons to try to do some damage. Dragons looking to try to add another run here. 3-1 on the way. Fastball swung on, chopped over to third, fielded by Miyazaki. He throws, and they are going to retire Hosokawa on a ground out 5-3. He's in the books for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the third baseman in Orlando Calixte. Or is it? We may have ourselves a pinch hitter here. It looks like Calixte's night is done. It is going to be number 3. That's Shuhei Takahashi. So Shuhei Takahashi in to hit for Calixte. The first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball. Count is 1-0. I'll have to keep an eye if Takahashi will stay in the game at third base as well. 1-0 on the way. Fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. I guess why not? Calixte only drove in one of the 2 runs tonight, or one of the 3 runs tonight for the BayStars. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses up and in. It's now 3-0. But I guess Calixte, and that's the other part that's kind of funny. Calixte is a right-handed stick, and Takahashi hits from the left side. They bring the lefty in to face the lefty. Love it. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Another fastball misses up and in, and Sakamoto walks him on 4 pitches. That would be the stuff that would drive managers insane. You'd think you got lefties to get lefties out. No way. So Takahashi makes his way down to first, and that is going to bring up the first baseman in Sho Nakata. One thing about these Dragons uniforms tonight is most of the players have their first names on the back. I can't see too many players who have their last names. Obviously, Sho coming to bat. Here's their version of the 3rd jersey. So Nakata is 1 for 3. He's got a home run in 3 trips. As the lefty works himself to the set position, here comes the first offering. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. Moving back underneath it is the center fielder. That's going to be hauled in by Kajiwara. And that is going to retire Nakata here for the second out of the inning. CV said he was about to ask. Not sure what you're about to ask. So that is going to bring Kaito Muramatsu to the plate. He is 0 for 3. He has had some sparkling defense here tonight. So Muramatsu coming to the dish. As the lefty works himself to the set. Here comes the offering from Sakamoto. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the left field line, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Muramatsu batting 155 on the year. There are some ugly batting averages in the Dragons lineup. And how they're doing it sometimes is maybe smoke and mirrors. As the 0-1 is on the way, there's a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. Count is now 0-2. Yeah, they must be the third jerseys with the player's name on the back. They're kind of a nice-looking jersey. I kind of like the helmet with the red bill. Can't complain, that's for sure. The lefty Sakamoto ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. Fastball misses up and away. Count goes to 1-2 on Muramatsu. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Sakamoto works himself to the set. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's chopped foul over on the third base side. Count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3-2 Dragons, bottom of the 8th inning. I've got a runner at first, 2 out, and it's a 1-2 count here on Muramatsu. As the lefty works to the set position, here comes the pitch. On its way, breaking ball. Gets away from the catcher. That's going to advance the runner into scoring position. Ball was well in the dirt. Yamamoto tried to block it. That's going to be a wild pitch. He says he's okay. No need for the trainers to come out on that one. It's going to run the count to 2-2 on Muramatsu. So some general courtesy there as the home plate umpire goes out and cleans the plate. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gives his catcher in front of him a chance to get himself composed, as he did take that ball. Even though he blocked it, it took him in a funny spot. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as the lefty Sakamoto holds set. Now delivers. Breaking ball. Waved out and missed. Muramatsu's in the books. That's going to do it here in the 8th inning for the Dragons. Well, it all comes down to the top of the 9th. We're going to see what exactly is going to happen here. Are the Dragons going to be able to close it out? We'll find out in just a couple moments. That it is going to be a pitching change. We'll be right back after this. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left aboard. Your score 3-2 as we move to the top of the 9th inning. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you there, Matt, and your support of the channel. In turn, we like to support our friend Matt Hollis. It is going to be a right-hander, Shinya Matsuyama, coming in relief. He has worked 8 innings, he's been in 8 innings this year. He's got an ERA of 2.25. Our friend CV Baseball Card Collector asked the question. He says, are there a lot of left-handed Japanese pitchers? Yeah, that's about the same as what you get in Major League Baseball. I would say probably in the neighborhood of about 20 to 27% of your pitching staff is going to be left-handed. So, and it's probably about the same talent pool. Remember, average lefties are as good righties, and there's just not as many of them. So he is going to be entrusted to face Shugo Maki, Toshiro Miyazaki, and Yuda Yamamoto. It is not going to get easier here, or any easier than that, or it's not easy to face these guys. You can get Maki, Miyazaki, and Yamamoto, then you're going to earn yourself a save. So Shinya Matsuyama here to try to close it out. As the right-hander ready to face the right-handed hitting Mackey. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. That floated in at 94 on the gun. So no balls and 1 strike. Mackey tonight is 0 for 3. As there is a fastball of a split finger variety that bounces outside. The count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As Shinya goes to the rosin bag on the backside. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander holds to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. A fastball swung on, grounded up the middle for a base hit into center field. And Shugo Maki is aboard here to start things going. So the tying run is on first. That's going to bring Toshiro Miyazaki to the plate. So going to be interesting to see here how they're going to play this out. Miyazaki is 0 for 3 tonight. He has lined to the pitcher softly, popped to the catcher, and grounded to short. Would they call on him to sacrifice Maki to second, but then it'll be Yamamoto coming up, and he's not the hitter that Miyazaki is. I'm curious to see how they're going to play this out. And then Satsugo would be the one on deck after that. Miyazaki batting .265 on the season, no homers and 4 RBIs. First pitch fastball misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. We're getting into the deep water here as we have the BayStars are down to their final 3 outs. They got the runner at first. Nobody out as the right-hander gets his sign. As he works himself to the set position, here comes the 1-0. Fastball ticket for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-1. I have to say, both the home runs tonight by Watari of the BayStars and by Hosokawa of the Dragons each landed in the first row. They barely got over the fence. Here comes the 1-1 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that goes all the way to the backstop. And that's going to advance Mackey over to second base. I got a bad feeling about this. Wild pitch there. That's going to run the count now to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Unbelievable. All the way to the backstop. If for somehow the Dragons are able to pull this one off, I'll be shocked. You have a 3-2 lead, and what it reminds you of is you're trying to hold a gallon of water with your bare hands. It's almost impossible. You might be able to save a few metric ounces, but you're not going to save the water. That's what the feeling is like. So here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and grounded foul just past the bag at first base. Count now goes to 2-2 on Miyazaki. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shinya gets a baseball and he goes to rub it up to Matsumoto. And he is ready to go back to work here as he's got 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Miyazaki. Right-hander works to the set. He checks the runner. Now he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on and fouled off into the catcher. Takumi getting beat up. Yamamoto getting beat up tonight. Keeps the count at 2-2 on Miyazaki. Both catchers have had their dings here tonight in this one. Establishing his lead over at second base is Mackey. Miyazaki trying to hit behind the runner. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball, or I should say maybe a split finger pitch in that case, missing down. It's now 3-2. So a couple thoughts here. Maybe Matsumoto, in this situation, maybe it's not the worst thing. If you walk Miyazaki, you got Yamamoto and then Satsugo coming up. Both of them are double play candidates. So here comes the 3-2 offering. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on, grounded over the right side. Good piece of hitting by Miyazaki. Fielded neatly by the second baseman Yamamoto, and he's going to throw him out at first. It's a ground out 4-3. Advancing over to third is Mackey. It's going to bring in the catcher Yudai Yamamoto to the plate. And I would have to think that the Dragons are going to have to bring the infield in. They got to be able to try to get that runner at the plate. So 9 for 39 on the season. Is the catcher Yudai Yamamoto. He has been aboard twice tonight. He has been hit by a pitch, and he is singled in 2 trips. Infield is in. Outfield is also playing very shallow. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a first pitch fastball missing down and away. The count is 1-0. I think if you could, you want to try to get Yamamoto here for sure, because when Setsugo comes to the plate, you don't want to be in with that defense. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yamamoto as the right-hander gets his sign. And here comes the offering. 1-0 pitch on the way. Matsumoto kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. The count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So nodding in agreement is Matsuyama as he works himself to the set. Here comes the 1-1. Breaking ball misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1, so 2 balls and a strike. Shugo Maki, the runner at third here with 1 gone in the inning. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here. Getting a little tired on my back end. As the 2-1 pitch ready to come on its way. Fastball swung on, popped up. It's in foul territory, giving chase, but he's going to watch it sail into the seats is Nakata. He's going to run the count now to 2-2 on Yamamoto. One thing I've noticed about the 2 pitchers for the Dragons, certainly the pitcher Junior Marte in the 8th, and then Shinya Matsuyama here, neither one looks like they have an explosive out pitch. Nothing that's going to put the fear in you to be able to finish off the hitter. So here's the 2-2. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Well, I say that, and there you go. It puts Yamamoto away with the fastball. He's in the books for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to Yoshi Setsugo. Well, Setsugo coming to the plate. He is officially 0 for 2 tonight. He's flown to center, grounded into a double play, and he has walked in his 3 trips, so officially 0 for 2. As the BayStars are now down to their final out. Dragons trying to seal this one off here as Setsugo steps in at the plate. And here comes the first offering, and the pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count goes to 0-1 on Setsugo. Shinya Matsuyama here trying to close it out. Runner at third is Maki. He got on in a single. He went to second on a wild pitch, was advanced to third on a Miyazaki groundout. So he is less than 90 feet away here from scoring the tying run. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Setsugo. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled away. Count now 0-2 to Setsugo. And I think if I am the Dragons, I want to dial it up here as fast as I can and try to blow it right on by them. Just as a reminder, once this game is complete, we will give you a full roundup from around the NPB and wrap it up for you. 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. As the right-hander leans in, gets the sign from his catcher. And the pitch is a fastball. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Fastball was at 94 up in the zone, but it's going to run the count to 1-2 on Setsugo. As I said before, when we've watched him, the word on the street is Satsuka very good with the breaking balls, the off speed, but had difficulty in Major League Baseball with the high heat. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the right-hander holds set, now delivers. Oh, breaking ball just misses up and away. He didn't like that call. Tsuyama definitely wanted that one. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is as the left-handed hitting Satsugo gets himself back in ready to hit again. As the right-hander works himself to the set position, the 2-2 ready to come. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and chopped foul as it goes off the catcher, and that's going to run the count to 2-2. So it looked like Takumi got a piece of it there. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dragons 1 strike away from a victory. BayStars 1 hit away from tying the ball game. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander again works to the set. And the pitch on the way, fastball swung on and missed. And Satsugo's in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here as the Dragons upend the BayStars 3-2. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. Your final score is the Chunichi Dragons 3, the Yokohama DeNA BayStars 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We'll wrap this one up for you, and we'll give you some scores from around the league. Appreciate you guys for hanging in as you did tonight and every night on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. This game took 2 hours and 38 minutes to play, as it is your final score here. 3-2 at the Vantolin Dome for the Chunichi Dragons over the Yokohama DeNA BayStars. It is 36,264 enjoyed the ball game tonight. Take a quick look from around the other scores in the NPB. In the top of the 8th inning in the Pacific League, it's a 7-2 lead for the Fighters over the Buffaloes. Bottom of the 2nd, Eagles and Marines are tied at 0. Game at the Balluna Dome between the Hawks and the Lions goes off in an hour and 20 minutes time. It'll go off at 6 o'clock local time. Other game in the Central underway. It's 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th for the Carp over the Tigers. Carp have been playing some good baseball lately. Looks like they got their offense going and they got the pitching working with it. And the other game is at the Jingu Stadium, also going off in an hour and 20 minutes time. It'll be the Giants and the Swallows, crosstown rivals, to play one another. Well, your final score here was 3-2 for the Dragons. Dragons got the scoring going opening early as they jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the 1st inning off of Anthony Kay. A single by Okabayashi. Yamamoto sacrificed him to 2nd, and then it was back-to-back-to-back singles. Kenta Bright singled, Seiya Hosokawa singled and drove home Okabayashi, and then Orlando Calixte singled to bring home the 2nd run of the inning in Kenta Bright, and that made the score line 2-0 for the Dragons. BayStars responded in the 4th with a double off the bat of Takuma Hayashi after the pitcher Anthony Kay sacrificed him to 3rd. It was Koki Konjawara at the plate, and he swung and missed. And as he did, it was a pass ball that went off the glove of the catcher that went to the backstop that allowed the runner Hayashi to score, made the score line 2-1. While the Dragons added to their lead in the 6th inning with 1 out, it was Sho Nakata hitting his 1st of the year. It was a wall scraper, got into the front row, and that increased the score line to 3-1. But in the 8th inning, in the top of the 8th, with 2 gone, Ryuki Watari hit a home run, very similar to his counterpart. It was also a wall scraper to right field this time, and that had cut the scoreline to 3-2, and that is where it ended. The BayStars did threaten in the ninth inning as they were able to get a runner to third with one out, but it was the pitching from the reliever Shinya Matsuyama who was able to shut the door on the BayStars here in this one. Once again, everybody, we appreciate you guys for listening in. We thank you guys again for being here on this. Having lots of fun calling the Japanese games, but also having some fun calling the MLB stuff in the daytime as well. Hope you guys have a great night. We look forward to seeing you guys again in the future. Our schedule will go up a little later today for the game tomorrow night, and then we're going to be off for a little bit. We'll try to squeeze some games in while we are on the other side of the continent. Hope all is well, and we'll see you again soon.